Well, hello there, it's Amanda here, and I'm on my series of updates so that you can see from the time you first saw the 31 plants in that series how they've grown so far. So what I wanted to show you first was the aloes, and I've got several patches of aloes, and they've all kind of multiplied and developed, and it has been amazing. So this particular one is the only one so far it was the oldest one, and it was the one that flowered. It had some pretty yellow flowers, and I will add some so that you can see. And it's, as I say, it was the oldest one, and it produced lots of mini plantlets, pups, whatever you call them. And it's got two more here, or three more actually. So what I will be doing is moving these to a new spot. It seems to like it here. It's rich in broken down materials and composting, and the only thing that I have to do on a regular basis is clear the grasses round the back. That's the fence to my neighbours, and this particular grass called elephant grass is quite prevalent, and you can see these with the grass itself filled with hundreds of seeds, and they're populating my neighbour's garden at the moment. So what I have to do is remove them before the seeds spread, and then just cut back, and I'll be talking about the broadleaf thyme in a different video. But let's go and see the other aloes plants. Okay, here's another aloes plant. I was gifted several. I had a friend who was just getting rid of their aloes, and they gave me, well, they just had it out there, they wanted to get rid of it. So I took this one and this one here, and those three under there. And what the experiment here is to see how well they survive in direct sunlight. I found that my aloes doesn't thrive very well in direct sunlight, but it needs some shade, and that's why I placed those three under there. They were just looking really sorry for themselves, and they're coming back now. So there's a spot in the garden that after 2 o'clock it is in shade, and so I'm going to be moving a lot of the plants, the aloes plants that I have there, and I probably will maybe in time when I'm just thinking if the moringa tree is going to grow enough to throw some shade on it, maybe not. But this particular one that's sitting here, it has been getting some shade, so it doesn't get the direct morning sun that comes up before 12. And then with the moringa tree, and I've got a couple of whitewood trees, well, these are going to grow into whitewood. They're going to be tall enough to shade it from the afternoon sun, so it's going to be fine here. So I'm just going to allow it to grow here quite peacefully. So that's the aloes. I'm sure because of the age of this particular plant, I think they were quite old, the bigger ones. They're probably going to give me some flowers. I do have another 2 pots full of aloes, and as I say, they're going to be going in a separate area in some shade. They're in just some pots where I haven't been able to put them anywhere because I couldn't decide where they needed to go, and it takes time to be able to understand, what the sun rises and sets where you are. And I think you have to give it that time if you want the plants to thrive. So as I say, these ones, they've got some, they really don't like direct sunlight, and it's a lot thinner than it would normally be. So as I say, once the trees grow a bit bigger, they'll be able to survive. But this particular one, I am going to I think I probably will move it. The outside is kind of suffering. The inside, because it's slightly more shaded, is better. I mean, I do like that colour, but, you know, the plant isn't striving very well. Maybe if I water it a bit more. Actually, that's what I'm going to try. I don't normally water it. I don't normally water them. And the idea for this, the whole of this part of the garden is that, you know, it's whatever rain it gets, that's the water. But I guess for some, in terms of establishing themselves, like I haven't watered those. I've just put them in shade. So I guess the moisture from the soil has remained, and you know, they've gone back. They're coming back to themselves, going green. I do cut this Mexican sunflower back at times, but it's going to get some shade from the cassava plants that it's growing next to. Anyway, so that is the aloes. Again, so many great properties that you can use them for burns, for, you know, in terms of healing, and cleansing, moisturising. You can even wash your hair with it. It's got like a soapy, sudsy effect. And there's another little one that seems to be surviving. I just threw it in because it looked half dead, but they seem to be doing quite well. I'm quite pleased. I'm pleased with the results. But yeah, so whilst they're establishing themselves, a bit more water. So that's maybe something you have to consider. If you've got some plants that don't seem to be thriving and you feel you've done all you can, think about, is it getting too much water or not enough water, especially in terms of establishing themselves. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. We've still got the properties to talk about, but again, I'll have to do that in another video. But for now, take care.